Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You've been waiting all summer, right? Waiting for some real Sixers news that isn't just speculation, waiting for answers while frustration grows. You've seen the whispers, you've read the trade rumors, and deep down, you know there's something the front office has to do before it's too late. Let me ask you this, how many times have you seen this team hesitate, drag their feet, and then suddenly watch an opportunity slip right through their fingers? That's the pain, and if you're a real fan, you felt it. Now here's the promise. What if I told you there's one move the Sixers absolutely must make, desperate as it sounds, that can protect the future, keep one rising piece from walking out the door, and finally give you a reason to believe this roster won't be torn apart before camp even starts? That's the solution you've been craving. You know what it feels like to be strung along as a fan. One day it's talks are progressing, the next day it's silence, and all you're left with is anxiety. That pit in your stomach, wondering if the team has learned from the past or if they'll keep repeating the same mistakes. You don't deserve to sit in limbo. You deserve clarity, and you're about to get it. Think about it. When you invest your passion, your loyalty, your voice every single night, isn't it fair to expect the franchise to step up? Isn't it fair to demand urgency? This isn't about a superstar with an MVP trophy already in his pocket. This is about a piece that could slip away before it ever truly fits into place. And yet, you've seen this before. The front office waits, stalls, lets the clock tick down until the leverage is gone. The pain is real because you can see the potential, you can see the role, but you can also see the exit door cracked open. Here's the truth. This player has already shown flashes of what he can bring in a Sixers jersey. Energy, growth, toughness. The kind of presence that makes you sit up and say, we might have something here. But flashes don't last forever if the franchise doesn't back them with commitment. So what's the desperate move? It's not just about cutting a check. It's not just about sweet words in the media. It's about a trade. Yes, you heard that right. Sixers news is building around the possibility of sending out two veterans, two familiar faces, in order to free the money that makes this deal possible. And before you start asking if that's too much, let me remind you, championship teams aren't built by holding on to every piece. They're built by making tough choices at the right time. You know it. You've seen it across the league. The question is, will this front office have the nerve to do it? Will they really pull the trigger, sacrifice comfort for necessity, and finally end the standoff that's been hanging over the team all summer long? Imagine the weight lifted off your shoulders as a fan once you hear it's done. Imagine heading into camp knowing that this player is locked in, no longer a question mark, no longer a distraction. That's relief. That's stability. Because let's be honest, you don't want to sit through another season where what-ifs define the headlines. You want certainty. You want to look at the floor and know who's going to be there, night in and night out, giving you everything they've got. And this is where you come in. You know the name I'm talking about. You've heard it in every Sixers news update for weeks, but I won't say it just yet. I want you to think about it, feel the tension, and let me know down in the comments the exact moment you realized who I'm talking about. Did you catch it right away, or did it take a few clues? That's the challenge for you. This isn't just another off-season storyline. This is the move that could determine whether the Sixers open the season on stable ground or stumble out of the gates under a cloud of uncertainty. And deep down, you know the truth. One desperate move could be the difference between keeping this piece happy or watching him walk, leaving you with nothing but regret.
You've been here before, haven't you? Waiting, hoping, sometimes even convincing yourself that maybe patience will pay off. But the truth is, in the NBA, waiting too long usually means losing. And when it comes to Sixers news right now, you can feel that same nervous energy in the air. There's no time to sit back and assume it'll all magically work itself out. Think about the weight of this situation. You've got veterans on expiring deals, guys you respect, guys who've given you moments, but deep down, you know they aren't the future. You know their presence isn't what's going to keep this team alive when it really matters, and the front office knows it too. Now, here's the uncomfortable question. Would you really be upset if the Sixers moved them in a trade to keep the younger piece happy? Be honest with yourself. Sure, you've cheered for them, sure, you've seen them put up numbers, but if losing them means locking in a player who could impact the team for years to come, is that really even a sacrifice? That's where you come in. I want you to tell me in the comments, would you make that trade? Yes or no? Don't sit on the fence. You've seen this franchise hesitate before, and hesitation has cost you banners, parades, moments that should have been yours. So speak up, agree or disagree. Because here's the pain. You're not just watching a contract battle, you're watching the same storyline creep back into Philly basketball. Indecision, delay, and then disappointment. You've lived it, and you're tired of it. You don't want another almost. You don't want another we tried. You want decisive action. And I know you're thinking the same thing. This team cannot afford to lose someone who just started showing what they could really bring. You saw the spark last season. You saw how he fit in right away, how he gave you a taste of what he could be with the right role. That wasn't a coincidence. That wasn't luck. That was potential breaking through. But here's the scary part. Potential doesn't wait forever. Other teams see it too. Other teams are circling, and you know how quickly an offer sheet can appear. Suddenly, you're the team left scrambling, trying to replace what you once had in your own hands. So now the front office is at the crossroads. They can either free up the money by moving those veterans, or they can risk losing them. No in-between, no shortcuts. And this is where fans like you matter. Because if you demand urgency, if you hold them accountable, maybe, just maybe, they'll act before it's too late. Tell me this though, would you risk it? Would you roll the dice and hope he stays even if the contract doesn't come soon? Or do you agree that a trade is the only desperate move left? Comment below, let me know, because this is one of those debates where there's no middle ground. And here's something else. If you're still watching, I know you're not just any fan. You're loyal, you're invested, you care enough to go through the stress, the drama, the long waits just to see this team win again. So I want you to prove it. Comment the word loyalty down below so I know you're locked in with me until the very end. Because now it's time to end the suspense. The name you've been waiting for, the one behind all this tension, all this Sixers news, all this talk about a desperate move, it's Quentin Grimes. That's the player the Sixers cannot afford to lose. That's the player who needs to be made happy. That's the piece they have to protect at all costs. And if it means sending veterans packing, then that's the price you pay. So the question now is simple. Do you believe the Sixers will actually pull it off? Or will they let history repeat itself once again? Leave your answer down below. And don't forget, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the decisions coming in the next few weeks could change the entire season for you as a fan.